The dilapidated St. Elizabeth Hospital in Hannibal has sat abandoned for years.
Yeah, Hannibal's mayor says there was interest in renovating it, but now he wants the building just torn down completely. Now, WGM's Ryan Hill joins us with more on reaction from one local group that is interested in it. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. And the mayor says developers were interested in purchasing the building, and one of those organizations was the Northeast Community Action Corporation. A spokesman for NECAC says in past years with the city, along with other partners, they wanted to do some work on the St. Elizabeth Hospital. Now, the mayor says the interior work on the building would have costed $20 to $25 million. The spokesman says the project looked to address the housing need in the area, but that plan is no longer realistic.
2023, NECAC and the city of Hannibal and other partners got together to try to convert this, or at least part of this building, into senior housing units. Unfortunately, that did not come through, but that's all water under the bridge now.
Brian Engel says a proposal to the Missouri Housing Development Commission didn't get submitted on time, which would have provided partial funding for the project. He says they're still working on other plans to create affordable housing in the area and in Northeast Missouri. He says NECAC is willing to work with the city and other developers to help provide affordable housing to the people of Northeast Missouri if it's demolished. Ryan Hill, WGEM News.
Ryan, thank you. The mayor says plans for demolition are still being discussed. If it does happen, there are ideas to maybe make a park or green space, but those are just ideas for now, and they would like to hear from the community or partners about what they would like to see.